Your brain is lying to you. Every second it edits your reality, and you don't even realize it. This three-letter part of your brain controls your life. It decides what you notice, what you ignore, and what version of yourself your brain believes is real. You don't see the world as it is. You see what this system lets in. That filter determines how successful you feel, how confident you act, and ultimately the quality of life you experience every single day. But this isn't just theory. I'm going to prove it to you with a simple exercise that reveals how your brain is filtering your reality in real time. And then we'll uncover some examples of what your brain is actually filtering for and how you can start changing it. Before we go further, here are a few examples to ground this in your own experience. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt like you didn't belong, even though nobody said a word? Or someone complimented you and you shrugged it off or didn't really believe it? Or you found yourself obsessing over a problem and completely ignoring the progress that was happening right in front of you? Those aren't personality quirks. Those are filtered experiences. The RAS in your brain, it's a part of your brain, is tagging certain things as important and deleting everything else. RAS is short for Reticular Activating System, and it acts like the search engine for your life. Now that you've seen how this shows up in real life, let's do a quick exercise to experience how your brain filters your reality in real time. For this exercise, if you can, close your eyes. Now bring your awareness to your feet. Notice the sensation, notice the temperature, notice the pressure, notice the points of contact, the feeling between your feet and the floor, or whatever else they might be touching. Good, now shift your awareness to your breath. Notice the inhale, the air coming through your nose or mouth. Notice the lungs. Notice the air exhaling. No need to do anything, just notice it. Good, now bring your awareness to your hands. Notice the temperature. Notice the pressure. Notice the points of contact. Good. Now bring your awareness back to your feet again. Again, the pressure, the point of contact, the temperature, any other sensations. Now back to your breath. Inhale. Notice the air flowing. The exhale. Now back to your hands. Notice the temperature, the contact, any other sensations. Now cycle that through one more time, back to your feet. Notice the sensations. Now to your breath. Now to your hands. Good. Now open your eyes and ask yourself this. While you were busy feeling and experiencing your feet and your breath and your hands, what were you not noticing and not experiencing? Did you notice your lips, your tongue, your elbows, your eyelids? Any of those things? Probably not. Because your reticular activating system, the RAS, was busy filtering those things out. Those sensations, those experiences were still there, but they just weren't important at that moment in time. And therefore, they were essentially deleted from your experience. But here's the twist. In this little exercise, you were following my instructions and I was guiding your focus. But in real life, the reticular activating system, it follows instructions from the subconscious. So the subconscious is influencing where that focus should go. Those instructions may be things like, you're not ready yet. You'll always mess this up. You need to keep proving yourself, and so forth. And your RAS follows those instructions, incorporates those, and that ultimately influences what the focus should be. And your brain filters your reality accordingly. The reticular activating system, or RAS, is a small net-like structure of neurons in your brainstem. Reticular means net-like because it looks like a web. It connects your spinal cord to your thalamus and cortex and acts as the gatekeeper of your awareness. The RAS was first studied by scientists in the 1940s. They were experimenting on cats and they discovered that stimulating a certain part of the brainstem could wake the cat up, literally flipping the switch between sleep and alertness. Since then, we've learned that it does far more than control wakefulness. It filters every bit of sensory data coming into your brain, and it decides what gets through and what gets deleted. And it's not random. Your RAS is trained by your beliefs, your identity, your past experiences, and your emotional associations. So let me tell you a real-world example. I worked with a client who said she was always feeling overlooked. She would say, "I don't ever seem to be chosen for anything. I just don't think people even see me." And the truth was, she was right. Not because people didn't necessarily value her, but because she was unconsciously filtering out important moments of recognition. If someone praised her work, she would blow it off. If an opportunity came up, she second-guessed whether it was really for her. Her RAS was doing its job. It was finding evidence for the identity that she had been living in for years. And we can all relate in our own way because we're all doing the same thing. We each have our own RAS that is filtering out specific data, and this is ultimately shaping our experience of reality. There's a Zen story I love, and it's about a man who drops his keys at night somewhere along a dark road. And the only place he starts looking for them is under this singular street lamp. And finally, someone comes by and asks, "Well, did you lose your keys somewhere near this street lamp?" And he says, "Well, no, but it's the only place where the light is shining." Your RAS is the street lamp, and it's casting light only where your subconscious believes it is safe, familiar, or necessary. Everything else, all the other areas, just stay in the obscurity, in the darkness. Let's test what your RAS might be filtering for in your life, just as an example. Finish these 3 sentences with the first thing that comes to mind. Number 1, in stressful situations, I tend to see myself as someone who, and fill in the blank. Number 2, when things are going well, I often start to believe I'm someone who, fill in the blank. And number 3, to truly feel successful, I believe I need to be someone who. Pause the video if you need to take a moment with those, but don't overthink them either. These should be spontaneous answers. Now, these aren't just random reflections. Each of these are subconscious instructions that your brain uses to decide what to show you. If under stress, you see yourself as someone who can't handle pressure, your RAS will heighten your awareness for potential failure or judgment, and filter out moments where you've actually succeeded and stayed grounded. If, when things go well, you start to believe you're just getting lucky, your RAS will minimize your accomplishments and focus your attention on anything that suggests the success is temporary, fragile, or undeserved. And if you believe that to feel successful, you need to be perfect, your RAS will make sure you obsess over every flaw, while overlooking all the progress that you've made. Your RAS isn't trying to hurt you, it's trying to keep your experience consistent with who you believe you are. So if you often second guess your wins, or overlook signs of progress, or feel like you're stuck even though things are actually moving forward and working quite well, this may not be your reality. This just may be your filtered version of reality that you're experiencing. And if one of your answers in this exercise surprised you, I'd love to hear it, so please do drop it in the comments and share. So how do you shift this filtering process? Here are 3 simple ways you can begin training your RAS to support who you actually want to become. Number 1 is to tell yourself some identity-based statements that you actually believe. Your brain doesn't respond to hype. It responds to emotional truth. When your statement feels real, your RAS begins to tag it as important. So if you're not a millionaire, don't start telling yourself, "I'm a millionaire," because that will get filtered out. Instead, you might say something like, "I'm getting wealthier every day, and every day success and abundance is flowing my way." Something like this. Say it out loud, say it with emotion. The louder and the more powerful it is, the more it will anchor into your body and into your mind. These aren't just boring affirmations, they're emotionally charged incantations. Number 2 is to visualize yourself already being that version of you. So for just a couple of minutes a day, picture yourself taking action, succeeding, achieving those goals, and overcoming any potential obstacles with calm and ease. Imagine how it feels. Imagine the sounds, the tone of voice. Imagine how you look, your posture, your energy, all of those things to visualize that and to bring it to life. This is rehearsal for reality. You are literally training your brain to recognize and prefer this version of you. Number 3 is to catch the old filter in real time. So when that inner voice says, "This probably won't work," recognize that's not truth. That's just filter, right? That's an old story. So label it as an old story and then redirect your focus maybe with a different question, asking yourself, well, what else might actually be true? And notice what other answers start to come up. The more you do this, the more your RAS stops looking for evidence that you're stuck and it starts looking for proof that you've changed. Over time, your brain will stop filtering for what you fear and start filtering for who you truly are. Let me leave you with this. I've worked with people who've been completely stuck, burned out, caught up in patterns of self-sabotaging, just continuing to repeat the same cycles over and over again. But when they began to shift their filter, their entire life started to transform. Support showed up, confidence returned, action became easier. And this is how it works, because your brain isn't broken. It's just been trained to protect the wrong version of you. You don't need to work harder. You don't need more willpower. You need to change the filter that your brain is using to decide what's real. And that starts with your identity. If this landed for you and you want to dig a little bit deeper, be sure to check out the free tool I created called the Mind Control Assessment. It'll help you uncover some of the things that your brain is currently filtering for. You'll find a link for that nearby. So enjoy that. I'll see you next time. And remember, breakthroughs begin within. Bye for now.